library friends, Miss Becky here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a very festive reindeer pom-pom craft. This craft uses hot glue, and remember with hot glue you can burn yourself. So if you're concerned about this, make sure to ask an adult for help. Let's get started. For this craft you'll need yarn in tan and red, felt in tan and dark brown, cardboard, a Sharpie, scissors, safety eyes, though you could also use googly eyes, beads, or buttons, a ruler, a hot glue gun, and hot glue gun sticks. Okay, the first step is going to be making pom-pom makers out of cardboard. For this, you'll want one that is 3.5 inches in length and one that is 2 inches. To make them, you'll need a ruler, and you can measure out 3.5 inches. Then you'll want it to be longer than it is wide. That helps give you a little bit more support when you're making your pom-pom. So for this one, we'll make it 5 inches long. And then you'll want to figure out where the center is, because you'll want to cut that out. So the center for 3.5 inches is about 1.75 inches, so right there. So you'll mark that out. For the 2-inch one, you'll do the same thing, marking out 2 inches across. For this one, we'll want it to be at least 3.5 inches long, and again, cut out the middle. Once you have it marked, use your scissors to cut these out, and then we can make our pom-poms. So, once you have your pom-pom makers, you'll need your tan and red yarn. We'll start with the tan and the 3.5 inch pom-pom maker. The first step is going to be cutting off a strip of yarn that you'll put through the middle. This is going to tie the other parts of your pom-pom together. So you want to leave it in the middle there. Then you'll take the rest of the yarn and wrap it around. And you'll do that about 150 times. So try and keep count. It's going to take a couple minutes to do that. And when you wrap it around, don't do it too tight because you will end up cutting the edges off here. So if you have it too tight, it'll be really hard to cut. Let's get started wrapping. Okay, so once you wrap it 150 times, you can cut that off. Then take that center thread and bring it up, and you're going to tie it around the middle. Tie it really tight and double knot it, and then I like to bring it through the center one more time so it's extra secure. So wrap it around a second time and double knot it again. Okay, now we're gonna cut these edges. Which, like I said, can be a little hard if you wrapped it kind of tight, and I always have terrible tension, so I wrapped it a little too tight. Oh, but it's not that bad. So you'll want to cut it. If you didn't get any, go back through and get those ones. Then flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Get your scissors in there and cut it. Okay, then you can slide your pom-pom out and kind of fluff it up. And then you'll want to see how some of it is a little uneven. Pieces are longer, pieces are shorter. Go ahead and trim it to make it a little bit more even. And this also makes it look a little bit fuller, getting some of that extra yarn off of there. Look at it in from different angles, at different directions, to make sure you have a nice round and even pom-pom. Then we'll take our red yarn and our 2-inch template and do the same thing, but this time you'll only wrap it 50 to 100, so about 75 times around. So do that and I'll meet you back here. Alright, so now your pom-poms are done and it's time to make the other parts of your reindeer. So go ahead and get out your felt. We can start by making the reindeer's ears. So an ear is a pretty easy kind of leaf shape. So you can make that with Sharpie. Then fold over the felt and cut it out. This will give you 2 ears. Like that. And the other thing we need this tan felt for is the shape above the reindeer's nose. That's what we're gonna attach our eyes to. So it's kind of like an 8, where it's thinner in the center and more circular on either side. So if you want to, you can draw that out with Sharpie again. But what we're actually going to do to make it nice and symmetrical is again have our felt folded over, cut the center towards the middle of the fold, and then cut the circles on the outside. So you make a shape that's like that, and when you unfold it, you get that 8 shape. It might not be perfect right away, so you can fold it back up and try and cut it a little bit more how you like it. And there you go. The next thing we need to cut out are our reindeer's antlers. For this one, I'm going to draw it out with Sharpie first. So the antlers look like this. You want to start at the base and do 3 loops on one side, and then it's flat on the other side. And that gives you a nice antler shape. And again, we have our felt folded over, so we only have to cut it out one time, and we'll end up with 2 antlers that look the same. Okay, and the last thing we're gonna do with our antlers is glue them onto a piece of cardboard and then cut them out again. Because we want our antlers to stand up, and the felt by itself is floppy, but gluing it onto cardboard and cutting it out will make sure that they can stay nice and upright. So you can use either Elmer's glue or your hot glue for this, and then cut it out, and I will see you back here when you're done. All right, so now we have our antlers cut out and glued to cardboard and all of our different pieces, so it's time to assemble our reindeer. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is take that section where you're going to put your eyes and mark out where you want your eyes to be. If you're using googly eyes, you can just then glue them on. If you're using safety eyes, it takes an extra little step. So you'll want to cut tiny slits on the spots that you marked out. Safety eyes are pretty cool. What you do is you poke them through the slit that you made. Then you take this little back and you slip it on. And now the eye stays in place. I chose safety eyes mostly because I like the way that they look. But they're great if you're making stuffed animals or little things out of crochet. Okay, the next step is going to be tying on the nose. So take a length of yarn, wrap it around your red pom-pom, go ahead and tie it into place. Slide these out. Then you'll take your tan pom-pom, place it where you want it to be, and then tie this red string around your tan pom-pom too. Okay, now you can kind of take your reindeer head, fluff it up, and you'll use hot glue to place everything else on. So you'll do a nice big glob of hot glue there, glue it into place, and then glue your antlers by putting glue there and sticking them in and attaching the ears there. And remember that hot glue can burn your fingers if you touch it, so be really careful when you're hot gluing everything together. When you're done with that, I'll see you back here. Once your reindeer is assembled, the last thing you'll want to do is trim the nose to kind of even it out and make sure it looks nice and round. You can also add some of the red yarn to the top if you want it to be an ornament. Once you're complete, you can either hang it on your Christmas tree or set it on your fireplace mantle. Either way, this makes an adorable winter decoration. Thanks for following along, and make sure to share your finished products with the library on social media. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!